So, the Fantastic Four First Steps has garnered over 4.9 million views in its first 5 days streaming on Disney+. The worst debut for any, and I'm saying any, MCU film. That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. And, there's multiple ways you could look at this. There's definitely some cope out there. I guess I would ask you, chat, what do you guys think of that? I mean, that's kind of wild, huh? What do you make of that? The first reply? Yeah, the first reply is it kind of sucks dicks, to be honest. Good move. It's over, MCU fans. We failed this movie. Yeah. A lot of people doing it. Worse than Marvel's and Quantumania? Yes, that is what the report says. Yes. Let me explain what I think is going on here. A couple of different things. Number one, I don't think this movie had a lot of motion, which is tough because I love this movie. I had such a good time watching. I went back to the theater, watched it again. I really, really like this movie. But I made this point before. I believe I made this point even in the wake of this film, that this is a movie made for people like me. And I think people like me really, really liked it. But I think what Marvel needs to understand is that as the MCU was growing in popularity, people like me were there the whole fucking time. It wasn't until certain things were happening and certain value propositions were operating for the audience that the moms, grandmas, aunts, uncles, and everybody came to the table. I mean, we all remember this, right? Throw one to the chat if you remember this. Do you remember those moments when you had been in it for years and years and years and all the normies come in? It was after Infinity War. It was on the way to Endgame. A bunch of people came into the fandom because fucking Infinity War was awesome. It was so awesome that a lot of people were like, whoa, I'm going to go catch up on this. What movies do I need to watch? You know what I mean? All that sort of stuff. The point I'm trying to make is Marvel cannot actually seriously think that making me happy after years of making me mad, that they've done it. And that's the solution, right? And so what I'm trying to get at is that ain't it. That's not the juice. That's not the motion. That's not what Marvel was. I love this movie, but the reality is Marvel was never just good movies. Never. It was always experience, spectacle, novel. I've said this many times in many different ways, but they were on the bleeding edge of delivering value to their consumers, to their customers. It was crazy. And they're so far away from that. So, the reality is, Fantastic Four is a return to form in a lot of ways. And in some ways, that is great. And fans like me appreciate it. And I don't want Marvel to think I don't appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I appreciated Thunderbolts and I appreciated Fantastic Four because they truly were returns to form. But what Marvel needs to realize is that is not the route to getting back to the success that they once had. That's not the route to recapturing the zeitgeist. It just isn't, and the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. The movie itself underperformed. I can't believe Superman made more money than this movie. And even people like myself that really, really love it are not necessarily out there championing it. It's not like I'm out there like I was with Deadpool and Wolverine, which is ironic, right? Because I like this movie more than Deadpool and Wolverine. But Deadpool and Wolverine was so good that I'm going out to get my buddy. I'm driving 2 hours so that we can go see it together. I'm asking people in my circle if you've seen it. Everybody I know has seen it. It's it had motion. Right? So does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying here? And I mean, I don't know what the answer I do wonder how Marvel sort of views this. Because they're clearly cooking nothing but pure spectacle for Doomsday. And I think even Spider-Man, you can kind of see yeah, man, that shit is different. They're going crazy with that. I wonder what Marvel thinks of the performance here, because there's still plenty of great stuff in Fantastic Four to build off of. But, man, they're very lucky that these characters are all about to mess with, Doom and all these other characters, and it's going to be really crazy. And hopefully there's fallout or some kind of extension of that story into the sequel for the actual Fantastic Four characters. But this is disappointing, dude. Like, there's basically no way around this being incredibly disappointing. And I think another sort of red flag along the way that Marvel should be paying attention to. Like, it's just fine. It's okay to look at this, to look at the data and be like, okay, where are we coming up short? And I think the reality is, I don't think it was the cast. Pedro actually convinced me. I thought the entire cast was great. The structure of the movie, probably to blame. I mean, it's a really great middle act. I don't think anybody would deny that middle sequence in the middle act is absolutely incredible. But the third act is weaker. And I think this movie is safe in some ways. I mean, it's so safe that they invented an entirely new universe just so it wasn't beholden to its own canon. The problem with that is it devalues the value of the canon, right? So, I mean, I think this movie is just way too safe. I think it's good at a fundamental level. I think it is a return to form, but I think Marvel needs to realize that, like, that ain't it. And if they really want to recapture the zeitgeist, if they really want to get back off to the races, then, like, the next Fantastic Four movie has to either have Doom in it, have Galactus actually whooping ass, have Annihilus, have these characters messing with Spider-Man, have these characters interacting with the Sentry. Like, you need to crack this thing open and go hard as fuck with these movies, because I mean, it's so weird. I don't know. I just think that there was some weird choices made for this film that ultimately feel very safe for me. Yeah. So that's kind of my take on it. I wonder if you guys have any thoughts about that. Is there any other explanations out there for why you think this happened? Thunderbolts was the best comic book movie of 2025. I'd probably agree with that. It didn't really have motion either, though. Random, I know, but what's new with Hunt for Golem? Nothing that I've heard. Yeah. The final battle was kind of weak, to be real. Yeah, it was. It was kind of weak, yeah. CGI quality clearly tried to gender of the movie for some. What? FF was a good story, but I'd rather watch Deadpool and Wolverine because of how fun it was. Yeah, and they need to do a fusion dance, man. Like, they either need to do a fusion dance of those two kind of films, or they just need to go with the other one, like, frankly. Sorry, Josh. Wonder Man is more exciting and unique to me than Doomsday. Okay, that's cool. Galactus was not strong enough, bro. Yeah. And the middle section is so good because he's like this just unknowable ancient force, and you know they're running away from his ship and stuff like that. But yeah, when he was on Earth, he should have been like blasting beams. He should have been whooping more ass. I prefer the female surfer, to be honest. I mean, I don't know that that's a big part of it, but I don't know. I mean, frankly, I don't see how this movie does worse just doing Norrin Rad, right? That Wonder Man comment is for sure rage bait. Yeah, it could be. I think F4 genuinely got hurt by Superman. That's probably true, dude. There is some truth in that, I think, yeah. Blasting beans. What the fuck? What's your prediction for Galactus's next appearance? I really don't know, man. Dude definitely worked on a show, or he knows somebody that worked on it. Yeah, or he's just trolling, you know? Galactus just kind of walked slowly. Yeah, and then, there's some holes. There's some holes, for sure. And, yeah. I just feel like Marvel was, like, it almost feels to me, and I feel bad saying this, but it almost feels to me like Kevin and everybody was like, dude, let's block out all the noise, and let's just make a good fucking movie again. And they just focused on that. But the literal expectations of the audience are so far past that now, where it's like, okay, great. Well, maybe if you had done this quality of work throughout phase 4 and 5, things would have been different. But that's not what happened. And so now it's not just a problem of quality. Does that make sense? CC Black says F4 and Thunderbolts was a part of the turnaround, not big money at the box office, restoring trust in the MCU. Yeah, and I think that it did restore trust for a lot of folks, right? The question is, were those folks really the ones that Marvel needed to target to try to get the trust back? I don't know. You know, I just don't know. There was a lot of good in F4, but it could have been better, no doubt. Yeah. Well, it's a similar thing to Superman, right? Where it's like, I really like the Superman movie, but I can acknowledge that it would have had much more appeal if the action was tighter and better, and if there had been, you know, maybe a little less goofy stuff at the end. Marvel hasn't promoted as good as DC recently. That's fair. I will say this too. I think a lot of people didn't even realize that shit came out on Disney Plus. I did not see them actually promoting it that much, which is weird because it did feel like there was a lack of promotion there. I wonder what that's about. Or if Superman was the hero. What? F4 was good, but it held back. Yeah. Cosmic Circus Q&A. Well, to me, there was only like two things really worth mentioning in that Q&A. And one was sort of the acknowledgement of the fact that maybe the characters we're looking at now are variants and the Prime Universe versions were real. And there was one other thing he said, but I'm actually blanking on it right now. Tell the truth. Says they put a movie that should have been in the fall after two summer blockbusters in Jurassic World and Superman, and it underwhelmed general audiences. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that also, I think that's actually spot on, dude. And I haven't watched that Jurassic movie, but I would imagine it's probably style over substance, and it made way more money, right? So yeah, it's a tough one. But look, they're in the commercial art game. This is not like Kevin Feige's personal collection of movies he wants to be really, really good. I know he cares about the quality, but this is a product. You know what I mean? So F4 is IMAX on Disney Plus. Really? It's in the IMAX format? Okay. New Supergirl teaser is out. Yeah, we saw it. We watched it. The 15-second one. Yep. Yeah. Gulp. Jurassic was only cool for the deaths. Did it have some gnarly ones? Aw, shit. Okay. No one talks shit about Kevin the GOAT. I mean, I think Kevin is the GOAT, but I think it's also fair to say that for whatever reason, Fantastic Four and what they were looking to do with that movie did not necessarily line up with what the audience would have preferred, right? When are we doing the Endgame watch party next year? Well, I'm waiting for the trailer. I will talk more about the video series tonight on the Nerdvenger stream, and I got a lot to talk about tonight on the member stream, so we'll talk about that tonight. But yeah, probably maybe in January. Well, actually, no, the Endgame one's going to be very later, because we're going to start with Iron Man and the X-Men movies and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, well, that's pretty much, I guess that'll be it. That'll be it on the Fantastic Four thing. It's definitely not a good headline. There's explanations for it. I mean, look, I told you guys when they delayed Doomsday and Secret Wars that I think they looked at what happened with Thunderbolts and they were like, we need to actually distance these next two movies from all the stuff that's come out. And we need a separate sort of fresh take promotion. I really think that's what it is. I think that's why they're promoting Doomsday a year away. They want to wash out the taste and wash out all the crap from what they had tried to accomplish going into this year. And they want to just make it all about Doomsday and really all about Endgame. I mean, that's why they're going to re-release Endgame in September. So that's probably the move, frankly. And I think it will work. The second to last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man came out today. Oh shit, it's at the comic shop for me, but I'm way behind. So I gotta get over there, but I gotta go. I gotta catch up on my books. Faux show. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's get into some Warhammer talk.